Ladies and gentlemen, through time and space, disagreements have been known to disunite man.
But here on the Great Debaters Contest, we bring together over 500 schools across 12 regions to debate on Kenya's #1 debate platform. I am your host, Chris Boru.
And I am Esperanza Kapanga. The motion on the table today is school uniforms are an outdated concept and should be banned.
Proposing this motion, we have Rachar Mixed Secondary School.
And opposing the motion, we have St. Alfred Alara Secondary School,
who will be making their premier appearance on Kenya's #1 debate platform.
Proposer number 1, you have 3 minutes to make a statement.
We as Rachar are here to support the motion that states that school uniforms are an outdated concept that should be banned. I'll first start with the definition of a school uniform. A school uniform is a set of clothing worn by specific people in an organization or institution. For example, the schools, both primary schools and secondary schools, and some institutions like the Kenya Navy, Kenya Wildlife Service, and others. A ban is officially to do away with something from the Constitution. I'll start by saying that the school uniforms do not appreciate the culture we have in Africa and in Kenya. For example, the Maasai use the lesos and kangas to cover their bodies, but they do not cover the whole part of their bodies. But the school uniforms, you must cover the whole part of your body. The school uniform is boring. It's really boring to wear a school uniform, the same color every day. You must wear it at all times when in school. I say it's really boring. I think the uniforms should be banned. These school uniforms do not make us be free. They are like CCTVs. Everywhere we go, because we have the school uniforms, we cannot have that time. As the Kenyan says that the school uniforms make us very formal. And many people don't like to be formal. And it also makes us not enjoy the fashion we want. And it also makes us to be hypocrites. We will behave as students, and yet we don't want to behave like students. Ivy Lavender from Rachar Mixed Secondary School. Thank you. I appreciate.
First proposer, you have 3 minutes to present your case.
Allow me bring into your attention that Kenya is just but a third world country, and therefore we should not compare ourselves with the developed countries like the US. Why am I saying this? To oppose the motion that states that school uniforms are an outdated concept and therefore should be banned. School uniforms, by the definition, is a similar special type of clothing that are worn by all students in a school. We find that school uniforms creates uniformity between socioeconomic classes within a school environment. Why am I saying this? Birds of the same feather flocks together. We find that in a school environment, we have students from different family backgrounds. Some students come from humble backgrounds, while others come from the well-to-do families. And therefore, each would want to be identified with the type of the family he or she comes from. We find that school uniform also may take students less time to get ready for schools each morning. Why am I saying this? In schools with uniform dressing codes, we find that students are aware of what to put on each and every morning. If someone is allowed to dress on his or her own choice, we'll find that it will take a lot of time on one to decide on what type of cloth to put on that day. School uniform can also increase students' attendance. If I can remember, the first time my mom bought me a school uniform. I was very happy, and the whole of that week, I could go to school without missing. As compared to the other days back, that I had been dodging going to school, because I was feeling demoralized. If I was seeing other students in their school uniforms, I could admire. And therefore, this one brings us to a reduced inequality within and among countries as one of our sustainable development goals. Thank you.
Second proposer, you have 3 minutes for cross-examination.
I really disagree with what the opponent has just said. Because starting with the issue of uniformity in school, yes, they bring uniformity in school, but it does not determine the behavior of the students. Maybe the student will be in uniform, but his or her behaviors inside, he or she is coming in the school compound with an intention of doing a bad thing in school. Like maybe in Kenya today, we are hearing that many schools are being banned, and these are resulted by many students who are coming from different backgrounds. So I totally disagree with that with the opponent. Secondly, my opponent is saying that when he was young, he was bought a new school uniform, which make him proud, to go to school, and that increases the attendance in school. I would rather like to ask my fellow opponents that what if you are bought a new civilian cloth? Will you not be happy to go to school? Standing for you, Omar Joseph from Rachar Secondary School. I want to propose this motion that says school uniforms are an outdated concept and should be banned. My first point goes directly. These school uniforms, as you can see, they are very costly compared to civilians. Since some schools may end up charging up to 13,000 per uniform per students, while if they are get rid of the issue of that, the money wasted in buying school uniforms may be used in an alternative way, like paying school fees. Secondly, uniform brings a barrier to social integration. What do I mean? When you are in school uniform, people may categorize you according to your background. Let's take an example, a case where a student from a highly performing school meets a student from a low performing school. He or she will not associate easily with this performing school. Thank you.
Second opposer, you have 3 minutes for cross-examination.
Look at myself. Am I not neat? Swell. Because I have a brand new school uniform. Check on our judges. Are they united? Are they not attractive? Because of the uniformity. Fellow colleagues, you are a student. You have talked about civilian. When you are bored, you can't go to school. Allow me correct you. Kenya, we are still third world country, underdeveloped. Why must we squeeze our feet into shoes that can't fit us? Kenya can't compete America. My friend, no. Audience, let us not be misled with some of the things that, can't convince us. No. Another one, someone has talked about school uniform being boring. Hey, the way I'm smart, do you think it can bore me? Surely. No, it can't. In schools, we have school uniform. And each and everyone has got a proper school uniform which fit his size. Be it you are thin as my pen, or you are body built the way I am. Doesn't matter. What matters is what do you have in your brain? Because you have game skates. What are the purpose of game skate in school? Game skates are meant, first, we use them when you are bored, as she has quoted. Another one, when this my new brand uniform is dirty, I'll use a game skate to put on as I clean this one. Allow me now support the motion by stating school uniform promotes equality in schools. A reason? Do you want to see? Okay, I talk with fact. How many want to see the example I can give? May everyone turn and look. That is a Maasai person standing. That's my friend. He's called Kip Kemboi, that one. Oh, he has just got under the table. He's up there. When he is in school uniform, the way he's smart, first, we will interact and we are going to exchange. What are your cultures? How do you do about this? Because we feel we are more comfortable. And how about if I underrate him that you are in a unique dressing, i.e., you put on some funny things. What you can only jump. You can only jump. Surely can't bring that. Another point, we talk about it can create affordable services to a student. Ask yourself, while you are coming here or back at home, you are going to school after closing, be it after or what. First, when you go, you want to board a vehicle. It will be more cheap. I take you to a museum. It will be more cheap. You will pay less. Be it a show, be it what, otherwise. But let me inform them of this and ask yourself and know that not all couples have children. Thank you.
The proposers have been asked. They had stated that we should drop school uniform simply because it's boring. But many things are boring, so is that really reason enough? The opposers have been asked, in relation to their statement that school uniform increases school attendance, what is the proof, what is the connection between wearing school uniform and attendance in school? Proposer number 3, you have 3 minutes to answer the question.
Okay, on the pulpit is Martin Calvins from Rachar Secondary School. I want to answer the question that has been posted. They've asked that the school uniform are boring, so they are asking if they should abandon. The answer is yes. The reason being, if you have been putting on school uniform every now and then, you are known by everybody that when you are coming from far away, the individual who is opposite you will just say that is so and so. So it's good, we abolish it. I want to propose the motion by saying that school uniform are an adopted concept and should be banned. The reason being, the school uniform promote discrimination. It will promote discrimination by this way. When somebody is coming from a noble family, it will discriminate a person who is coming from just a family, a poor background. Second to that, school uniform spoil the name of the school. When an individual has done a mistake, he or she will not be blamed, but the school in general will be blamed. The third point, it denies opportunity for socialization. For an example, when you want to walk along the Kisumu Road, you are having a school uniform and you met some people talking, storing. You will not unite them because you are having a school uniform. They will reply to you that you are a kid, they can't share with you anything, otherwise flesh.
Third opposer, you have 3 minutes to respond to your question.
Hello, audience. Biko Job Klein from St. Alfred, Alara. To answer the question that has been asked, I'll say that school uniforms increases the student attendance in schools. Why do I say this? Students like me, an example, when I was in primary, before I had my pair of shoes, that is the full school uniform, I used to feign illness and go back home. Why? Because the others were really laughing at me, to look at you. You can only afford a pair of shoes from Gikomba, and we are having to fish around. So it really hurted me. And why do I say that it increased in attendance? Because students' uniform reduce this impact. It is possible for students' attendance to increase. Take an example. During Moi's reign in government, he used to give out milk. And from this, I tell you from an example given to me by my grandmother, who I'm proud reached in standard 2. She was giving me advice that, you see, there's no need of having this. Just a uniform, provided you have uniform. Imagine milk taking a whole human being to school. So I think you having your uniforms, and in fact, before I forget, I wanted to compliment you because you look very smart in your uniforms. I want now to oppose the motion by saying that surely the uniforms are not outdated. Or who thinks that the uniform is outdated? With me, I don't. Why do I say this? School uniform, they reduce clothing-related peer pressure. How? The uniform mandates make every student to wear either the exact or almost similar outfit. Because every student is essentially wearing the same thing or the same outfit, this reduces level of peer pressure that a friend will tell you, hey, today you look ugly, but you are just putting on a t-shirt. Next, school uniform will also promote safety in the school, especially when I hope you do go out for the field studies and other outings in the school. In case of an accident, you can easily be identified as a student. And you are reporting, let's say like me, I'm from Omabe. Let's say I get accident when we go for the outings in Coast. How will I be identified that I'm from Omabe? By simply checking the uniform. Otherwise, please, let us not deceive the others by proposing the motion that they should be banned, yet you are still putting it on, and you are very nice. You look very smart. Otherwise, thanks.
Proposers, you have 1 minute to make a final statement.
Thanks once again. I'm here. I'm Ivy Lavender from Rachar Secondary School. I just want to tell the opposition members that the school, once they entered their first year in the high school, they were given some uniform, but their senior members who were in the higher classes were referring to their uniforms as magunia. And to my opposition, they wear the uniform, but they carry their civilian in their bags. I think they admire that trend.
Opposers, you have 1 minute to make a final statement.
Once again, Isowino Jaffas from St. Alfred Alara Secondary School. Allow me quote, once American philosopher and a former president Benjamin Franklin said, "We eat to please thy soul and we dress to please others." So Kenyans, let us embrace change and let's state facts to help us develop our own country. Remember, Rome was not built once. Let us not be in an environment where we have to follow what others do. No, that won't aid us anywhere. But remember, let us plant a tree that will gain us fruit and not plant a tree that will not gain us any more fruit. To Kenyans and my colleagues, let us embrace and change our state of students and the nation and to our Kenyans. Otherwise, nice time. Thank you.
To the two teams, I have the following observations. Number one, both teams lacked convincing points. Your level of communication, that is language, was low. And I would term your argument as simplistic and pedestrian. So you need to do research. The way you express is very, very important. Otherwise, we appreciate your effort, but always do research, be composed, and learn to get to the roots.
We know you are first-timers and that you've come to learn, and this is the essence. I liked Owino. When you came, Owino, that is from the opposition, when you came over here, we got some live in your manner of presentation. The fact that the topic was so rich, but the points were not researched, is why I was saying through and through, you decided to entertain us. Like Rachar, you've had even a comment from the what? The audience. That clearly says that you are using a term consistently from the beginning to the end, which will be setting an irrelevant notion about what you mean. And you are not understood. But when you use it, you discovered that the audience was clapping for you. Why? Because they know the way it is used. And perhaps they may be like, what are you using this term for? So next time you come on stage, discover the terms you are going to use.
Nelson Mandela once said, "Do not judge me by the number of my successes, but how many times that when I fall, I rise up again." So with that in mind, Rachar Mixed Secondary School, the judges awarded you 60%. Let's appreciate them. St. Alfred Alara, the judges awarded you 61%. Let's appreciate them. Thank you to both teams.
We'd like to appreciate our sponsors for making this show a reality. Blazed by Safaricom, Brown Kenya Board. We'd also like to acknowledge each and every principal, to the patron of every school participating on the Great Debaters Contest. Ladies and gentlemen, the show might be over, but remember the conversation still continues across our social media platforms. The hashtag is GDC for SDGs.
That's it at the Great Debaters Contest. I have been your host, Esperanza Kapanga.
And I am Chris Boru. Catch you same place, same time.